It's Friday, July 31. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. The government has extended all the COVID-19 measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act Order 2020. The current measures expires today, July 31. The new measures in response to COVID-19 will now run from August 1, 2020 to September 30, 2020.
The curfews. The day to next day, night to early morning curfews will continue in place starting 11 p.m. on the night of July 31st, 2020 to 5 a.m. August 1, 2020, day to day until 5 a.m. on the morning of September 30th, 2020. So the existing curfews continue until September 30th, 2020. And all the rules relating to the curfew, including the traveling times, those remain. The gatherings not exceeding 20 persons, that remains until the 30th of September 2020. But of course, just to point out that even when you are gathered, you still maintain your social distance. Persons 75 years and older to remain at home. Mr. Speaker, this is the hardest one now because I'm getting many calls to say that, they don't want to be at home. The operating hours for markets and vending, those continue as before through to the 30th of September 2020. Of course, the market hours would be Mondays to Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. closed on Sundays. The creative and entertainment sector, the measures for this sector would have been announced previously by the Minister of Local Government, and those measures are extended to September 30th, 2020. Places of amusement, beaches, rivers, river rafting, restaurants, and cinemas, again, these were allowed to reopen with strict protocols, and these measures will also be extended through to September 30th, 2020. Zoos, parks, water parks, the opening hours as obtained previously are extended to September 30th, 2020.
According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the administrative reopening of schools will be on September 7, 2020, followed by the phased reopening on September 14, 2020. The Prime Minister also underscored the importance of wearing masks in public places and keeping a social distance of 6 feet from others as part of the new normal. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has shed light on the proposed changes to the INDECOM Act and the more than century-old Dog Liability Act and Cruelty to Animal Act at the Ministry of Justice's quarterly press briefing on Friday, July 31.
No, that act dealt only with civil liabilities. What this new act deals with is not only civil liability, but with criminal liability. We want to be able to say to owners of dogs that you must manage, care, and control your dogs, so that if you allow the dogs to leave your private space and attack someone in the public space, then not only will you be responsible civilly for civil liability, but you could also be charged for criminal conduct in that you fail to control and manage these dogs that have caused injury to members of the public.
The Justice Ministry is also proposing an amendment of the Independent Commission of Investigations Act 2010, which would, among other things, strengthen INDECOM's investigative powers and capabilities.
The relationship between INDECOM and the police is not one of hostility. INDECOM is there to ensure that the police act within its limits and how it deals with the public. Let me just say that INDECOM, and I should have said it in my presentation, has been a success story.
Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie is reminding party promoters that they need to seek the necessary permits before hosting events. He's also warning that a lack of compliance could force the government to take action against the entertainment sector. The minister was speaking at a virtual town hall meeting on Thursday. The ministry's team of protocol wardens recently discovered an outdoor event being advertised in the corporate area that reportedly breached protocols.
I note with concern, especially in the entertainment sector, certain flyers going around advertising events for marketplace. That event has no approval from the KSMAC. Anyone who attempts to stage any event at the marketplace over this weekend, whether tonight, tomorrow night, or any other night, without the requisite approval, this is one time I am going to say that event nah keep.
The minister said that though the government has relaxed the measures for the entertainment industry since July 1, it would have no problem reinforcing them if there is no compliance.
We got a commitment from the entertainment sector that they will honor the protocols that they sat in this same room and worked with us in putting out there. I am appealing to Jamaicans going into the Emancipation Weekend and moving onwards into the independence celebration that the government has relaxed its hold on entertainment. The protocols that have been put in place that will run until September the 30th is saying if you want to stage any events, make the requisite application, follow the protocols.
Civil servants will be provided 150 postgraduate scholarships over the next 5 years. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, says the provisions under the Marcus Garvey Public Sector Scholarship Program will be awarded to 30 recipients annually to pursue master's degree programs aligned with Jamaica's national priorities and strategic objectives. These scholarships will be tenable at local and overseas universities September 2021, which is the start of the 2021-2022 academic year. One of the most challenging and difficult issues in the management of cities and towns is traffic. This is further compounded by parking challenges. Additionally, many apartments and townhouses are being built with a parking ratio of 1:1. This too is becoming a problem as many Jamaican homes have an average of 2 cars. A Jamaican company, Abacus Safe Park, has found an innovative solution to the problem of parking for Jamaica, the Caribbean and North America. For the details, we join Marlon Samuels in this special report.
Land is a fixed commodity. As the population increases, there is a corresponding increase in construction of homes, offices, and factories. More and more persons are driving cars, SUVs, and trucks, expanding the needs of parking. As land is fixed, it means a decrease in the available land to construct traditional car parks. The answer to the parking challenges, which threatens to overwhelm offices, homes, and traditional car parks, is a vertical parking system.
You put a car in at ground level and you rotate it up. And you can rotate up to 6 vehicles in one system or go all the way up to 16.
Civil engineers are problem solvers, and what we have to do is to look at land and see how the land can be used to help mankind. In this case, the problem is parking, and this mechanical and electronic and electrical product fits in. A civil engineer determines can the structure fit there? Is the soil sturdy enough? What kind of foundation do you need? And then what are the conditions maybe you're right by the sea and you have to think about strong sea breezes and so on, and you think about the structural integrity. So civil engineering helps to cover a lot of that. And the whole use of space, how to utilize roads for access and how it should all be finished, how it should look is important. And in fact, on the matter of look, you see a raw unit behind us where you see the insides, you see everything working. You can have fascias right around the structure that can even carry billboards, electronic billboards for advertising, or the whole fascia could be a product. Let's say you sell a certain type of soda drink. That structure could look like the bottle. So it can be used for advertising and information in a very positive way.
The standalone structure uses the vertical space, not the horizontal space. So the problem of limited parking space is eliminated. It covers the area of just 2 traditional parking spaces and saves drivers lots of time, as it takes less than 90 seconds to park or retrieve their vehicle. They also don't have to perform difficult parking maneuvers, as the parking system, which adheres to strict quality assurance standards, is safe, reliable, and easy to use. The driver simply leaves the car on the platform at the designated entrance area on the ground level. Once the driver leaves the safety zone, hydraulic or mechanical car lifters raise the vehicle from the bottom to another level, using advanced technologies to provide all-around management of the vehicle. The eco-friendly parking system, which does not use any type of noise pollution, automatically parks the car.
It's a very simple system, simple mechanics, one motor, and yes, the electronics are, as electronics would be, complicated, but very easy to deal with.
This will solve Jamaica's parking problem. Everywhere you go in Jamaica, apart from the 2 cities, Kingston and Montego Bay and Portmore, every market town, Brownstown, St. Anne's Bay, Santa Cruz, all have parking problems, right? And the simple reason is that there's nowhere to park. And people will use 2 acres of land to put a parking lot. Now this system is environmentally friendly. So you use a 1/4 acre and you get the same amount of parking. The basis of it being environmental friendly, you can run it with solar systems, the GPS power, or you can actually operate it manually.
With most electrical systems, sometimes there's power outages. In the event that you don't have a generator, it is a good thing to have a manual system. This is our manual system. It is a clutch really, it has a clutch and the wheel to move the thing. It's connected by gears and clutches all the way around. In the event of a power cut, we engage the clutch, spin the wheel, and what will happen is the carousel will then spin around, bringing each car down to the floor level. Presently, we're using our backup system, which is a generator. We're not connected to the grid just as yet, but as you can see, we have made our preparations to do so. So it is always nice to have a backup with you. And it is also important to realize that this system can be operated with solar power as well.
The vertical parking system is technically advanced. It uses electricals and software to control the sensors, parking platforms, lifts, motors, and other parts that move the cars once it drives onto the multi-story steel shelving system. The parking system is controlled by what is called a human-machine interface. The human-machine interface software is used to monitor, supervise, and control the process.
Now this is what is called the human-to-machine interface, which actually controls the parking for all the different vehicles. You have what is called an emergency stop button, which if for whatever reason the system needs to be stopped immediately, you simply press this button and it will come to an immediate stop. You also have a manual key switch which does the overriding of the system, and in order to start it you have to first put it in automatic mode. You also have the reset button, which is used for resetting the system if there's a fault and you need to correct that fault. Now, to get to a particular parking spot, you simply press the number of the parking spot and then you press run. It will then move automatically to that spot. When you need to retrieve a vehicle, you go and you do the same again. If you want to go to section 4 where you would have known you would have parked your vehicle before, you press the 4 and then the run, and it will bring the vehicle back to the parking position that you can remove it.
The principals of Abacus Safe Park Jamaica, former members of the Jamaica Defense Force, are world-class engineers. They have much less training and experience and give their stamp of approval on the reliability and safety of the multi-level vertical parking structure and operating system. They and their team oversee its supply, installation, and maintenance. Abacus has the exclusive distributorship for the vertical parking system in the Caribbean, the United States of America, and Canada. It is the ideal solution to parking issues being experienced in towns, cities, office buildings, hotels, hospitals, and shopping malls.
Airport parking, hospitals, we talk about banks and so, even though banks are not that crowded nowadays, we don't know if that will come back. But, I mean, all kind of plazas, look, I don't even need to name them. All the plazas, where I don't even go to my supermarket much anymore that I normally go to because I can't find anywhere to park. Sometimes I have to drop my wife off and go far, park somewhere, wait for her to call me, come back. So, there are so many areas that this thing is really needed to make our lives much more comfortable. Quality of life is what we're aiming for.
The safe parking operations being promoted by Abacus has other far-reaching benefits for Jamaicans.
The whole idea is not just a private venture, right? It is a private venture, obviously, but we see this as a national type of development project because it is a national problem, a national crisis. And myself and Colonel Sadler and others, when we were in the JDF, we formed the Engineer Regiment back in 1991, I think. And the first project that we embarked on then was a mobile farming project to make farmers who had their produce up in the bush, we built roads that they were able to take their produce out to market, to the main towns. And those roads, by the way, they're still standing today, no potholes. In fact, we did it so well, maybe that was a reason why it was stopped, unfortunately. But that taught us a number of things, that we have skills in the JDF, technical skills, that we need. And a lot of these people who were then soldiers, they are now veterans on the street. Some of them are only driving taxis around and some of them have no jobs. Some of them even are destitute, unfortunately. And we have a veterans association called CAMP, Caribbean Association of Military Professionals, where there are a number of these people who have lots of technical skills that we hope to employ and to mix, to sort of infuse the discipline that they have gained over many years of service into the private sector and into working with other companies and, workmen, in engineering and otherwise. So we can sort of, learn from each other and hopefully generally lift the general standards of operation and maintenance and customer service and so forth. So the parking system is a good avenue or a good tool to solve a number of issues at the same time.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Marlon Samuels.
In today's extended edition of the Business Report, host Gabriel Thompson explores the issue of insolvency.
The coronavirus pandemic hit Jamaican shores in March. Since then, some businesses have laid off workers, some have even closed permanently, and some Jamaicans found themselves unable to pay loans. Despite cash grants from the government, businesses and individuals may become insolvent, meaning being unable to repay debts owed to creditors. This is where the Office of the Supervisor of Insolvency comes in. Let's find out how they can assist. The Office of the Supervisor of Insolvency, OSI, is responsible for two things: regulating the licensing of trustees and supervising all estates under the Insolvency Act. The OSI has been in operation since 2015 as a result of the Insolvency Act of 2014. It is a division of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. Fayola Evans-Roberts is the Deputy Supervisor of Insolvency. She says the office is focused on helping Jamaicans avoid being declared insolvent or bankrupt.
The insolvency regime, for the first time, we're focusing on rehabilitation. That is certainly the avoidance of bankruptcy. So what we want are persons to initiate the process before they go into bankruptcy. It has been probably a Jamaican thing where, they take long to initiate. Persons wait until the last minute to act, but if they come in time, then they're able to avoid bankruptcy.
A person under the Insolvency Act refers to both individuals and corporate institutions. Here's how it works.
An insolvent under the Act means you either reside in Jamaica, or you own business in Jamaica, or you have property in Jamaica, and you owe a minimum of $300,000, and you're unable to pay your obligations as they become due. In order to access the insolvency regime, you'll have to do so through a trustee. What the trustee will do is administer your estate to make sure that you either make a proposal to your creditors, or if you're unable to make a proposal, to put you in bankruptcy, because that's the final analysis of it. If you are unable to pay your creditors, then you'll have to go into bankruptcy. So insolvency is different. It's separate from being a bankrupt.
The OSI, however, is not limited to assisting large corporate bodies. Mrs. Evans-Roberts says help is offered to everyone.
Anybody, yes, you can come. Yes, small business, business name, you can, as long as you owe a minimum of $300,000 and you're unable to pay your obligations as they become due, or you have stopped paying those obligations, the OSI can assist you.
The economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic has impacted Jamaican businesses. The Planning Institute of Jamaica projected economic contraction between 4% and 6% for 2020-2021. There are provisions under the insolvency regime to help businesses.
Especially because of the expected fallout that from COVID, that is certainly going to be coming. If it hasn't hit them yet, we're sure it's going to. We are aware of the many things that has happened. One of the things that persons can do is to make a proposal to avoid bankruptcy. A proposal can be commenced by a notice of intention to make a proposal to your creditors. And one of the benefits of that is, as soon as you file a notice of intention, all court proceedings are stayed.
That gives you time.
That gives you time. That's one of the things that companies would want at this time, in order to be given some time so that you don't have to file for bankruptcy now.
The OSI has also been making moves on behalf of individuals, creating special proposals for those with student loans.
We would approach your creditor on your behalf and come to an agreement for whatever settlement that would be. The majority of things that we saw during that time was that the creditors agreed to accept a reduction in the amount that they pay monthly. So persons were really benefited, and the creditors were really open to assisting individuals during that time.
What if you have met your reset financial obligations but are worried about the future? Under the Insolvency Act, there is what is considered the person who is imminently insolvent.
It's the same persons who you reside in, you have business in Jamaica, you owe the minimum of $300,000. But importantly, you reasonably anticipate that within 12 months, something is going to happen and you will be unable to pay your obligations, to meet your obligation. So it hasn't happened yet, but within 12 months it may happen. You can still access the proposal regime under the Insolvency Act.
You can contact the OSI by calling these numbers: 876-929-8332, 876-619-1475-6, or by emailing info.osi@mycaf.gov.jm. For the business report on PBCJ, I'm Gabrielle Thompson. In Thursday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 1,834 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 78 stocks, of which 40 advanced, 27 declined, and 11 traded firm. The Junior Market Index declined by 0.66 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living, 1834 Investments, and Barita Investments. Stocks declined for Cargo Handlers Limited, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, and Dolphin Cove Limited. Trading firm were Blue Par Group, Siboney Group Limited, and Diamond Trading Company. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with 4.8 million units, followed by Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 3.5 million units, and QWI Investments Limited with 1.2 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Thursday, July 30, ended trading at $148.27. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $111.69. The pound sterling traded for $193.49, and the euro ended trading at $176.19. Oil prices rose on Friday and were on track for monthly gains, boosted by a weaker dollar in the face of continuing concerns over the recovery of the U.S. economy as the coronavirus ravages the world's biggest economy and oil consumer. Brent crude futures rose 31 cents to $43.25 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 26 cents to $40.18 a barrel. That's it for the business report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
Now for the latest happenings in dancehall and popular culture, we go to Alicia Steele for the entertainment recap.
This week on Entertainment Recap, Sumfest 2020 highlights, Buju Banton wins Festival Song Competition, Supreme Ventures Spice It Up, and many more. I'm your host, Alicia, and this is the Entertainment Recap. We kick it off with Sumfest 2020 highlights, and it was hosted by Miss Kitty Fluffy Diva herself. And this year's theme was a taste of Sumfest. And it was more than a taste, it was a mouthful, because you have artists like Agent Sasko, Coffee, Sizzla Kalonji, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Don't take it from me, here are the highlights.
Tell me friend, don't cheap. So from the other day you see, friend we don't keep. A family we say because and everything we come and show see that your friend. Worse if you getting money only. Number one in the world.
There's something in your eyes like a spell getting me hypnotized. Oh Lord, she give me one.
Sometimes I feel to cry, but the tears them finish. Even though when we happy or timid, but I don't feel my brother's spirit. Alright then, left now. So me still a wear plastic smiles.
It's an answer 6, no girl don't want you. You know the thing there in a broken. Confess, one broken. And if you're not
run this country. People love the way rivers dance and move, you know. But if we win at the party, I'm gonna touch you with body. Hey,
go for a walk and have a little talk, so I can get to know you. Got a lot of things to show you.
Until I tell me what you done with. You know what?
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stars Spice, yeah, our dancehall queen Spice, yeah, is back in Jamaica and Manala. Supreme Ventures, grab her up. Them just drop her ad with her stay, so boom. I'm not lie. Them spice it up. Good ad in a like a red suit. Girl go on.
Spice up your winnings. New game supreme up on the scene. Hot pick a do it and it easy if you win. Pick any number from 1 to 15. Then all you do is watch all your winnings come in. All you need a $10. You can bet it and make it in $100. You might even win a 110 or 130. And the best money this you ever spend, dada. Hot pick, Supreme Ventures, this are the new hot topic. So easy if you win, check your ticket for the payout where you get, then wrap up your money in the elastic.
See there, we catch number 7. You win $100, TC win 110, and SWAT wins with 130. Hot pick, easy to win. Yeah, yard man, don't. Respect. I am Jamaican. Yeah, Buju win festival competition 2020. The Grammy winner walked away with the $3 million prize and says that his charity would be a beneficiary. The Grammy winning reggae artist was one of the favorites on social media. Upon receiving his check, he said, "The true winners tonight is the Sunbeam Boys home. Congrats to you, Buju Banton." Thanks for watching PBCJ's Entertainment Recap, and big up to More to Adore for my earrings. Remember, follow them on Instagram at More, the number 2 Adore. Follow us also on all socials at PBC Jamaica. Remember, PBC Jamaica. I'm your girl, Alicia, and always and forever big up you. Nice spot. Don't turn the spot. Yeah. In regional news, 95 nurses from Ghana landed in Barbados more than 7 months after they were scheduled to arrive. The nurses are there to help bolster the nation's health system for the next 2 years.
95 nurses from Ghana finally touched down at the Grantley Adams International Airport last evening, more than 7 months after they were scheduled to arrive in Barbados. The nurses were transported by 3 shuttles to the temporary arrival hall, where they were greeted by Minister of Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, newly installed Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Lisa Cummins, and Executive Chairman of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Juliet Bino Sutherland. During a brief press conference, Minister Bostic welcomed the healthcare workers who have been contracted to work here for 2 years.
Which I think is the most important thing at this point in time, is to say on behalf of the Prime Minister, the government, and indeed the fine people of Barbados, to warmly welcome our brothers and sisters from Ghana to Barbados. Thank you. This is a momentous occasion in several ways. In spite of the challenges that would have confronted us over the last several months to get to this point, the moment has finally come. And I want to say that it is a pleasure because, first of all, this is a continuation of an initiative that was started by the Honorable Prime Minister for us to reconnect with our brothers and sisters from Africa. And of course, Ghana being the ancestral home. It is also momentous because what happened today is that we had a direct flight from Africa to Barbados.
Minister Bostic said the nurses would be working at the QEH and Geriatric Hospital, as well as several polyclinics across the island. He said that their presence would not only help in the fight against COVID-19, but in delivering quality healthcare service in all aspects.
You have arrived in Barbados at a very, very opportune time. Because yes, we, like you are, we are fighting the COVID pandemic, COVID-19. And we have a saying in Barbados, no retreat, no surrender. But that is not the only thing that we have to deal with as a Ministry of Health. We have the remainder of the healthcare sector to take care of, even though we are fighting this battle. And your presence here today, and certainly when you start to work in a couple of weeks' time, would enhance our capacity to deliver the quality healthcare services that we have been doing for years and that we will continue to do, and that even though we have to divert some of our efforts towards fighting COVID, we are now in a better position to deal with the remainder of the healthcare system in Barbados. And we are very happy that you're here.
Spokeswoman for the nurses, Lauren A.N. Atupli, said the group was happy to finally be in Barbados. She said that they were eagerly looking forward to working hard and enjoying their stay on the island.
I want to say thank you very much for welcoming us, and greetings from our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and our Minister of Health, and all the human resource personnel at the Ministry of Health. Greetings from them to you, and greetings from Ghana to all of you. We pray that we're going to have very good communication, very, very good and interactions and all that, and we're going to have a very good stay here for the next 2 or more years. And we promise to work hard to deliver good service to everyone and be at peace with everyone, and we will feel welcome at home and also feel at home. Thank you very much.
In sports, former national hurdler Shevon Nieto has been awarded the International Olympic Committee President's Award. The two-time Olympian was recognized by the Federation for her athletic career, which honored, quote, the path and fight of an Olympian, end quote. Nieto celebrated her achievement on Instagram, thanking the IOC President Thomas Bach for recognizing her Olympic journey. Among those to whom she expressed her gratitude was her husband, American high jumper Jamie Nieto, who has been paralyzed since a training accident in 2016. She ended her statement with words of encouragement for those who wish to embark on the same path. And that's our package. Join us again on Monday for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station. Happy Emancipation Day.